How's it going?
I'm living a dream. How about yourself?
Very good, very good. I still haven't come up with my line yet, but I'm still thinking about that. It's hard. It's hard to compete with living the dream. It's very hard to compete with that.
You know what? Once you know what your thing is, you will say it. And you will say it all the time. It'll just work out. All right, it'll just work out. When I started saying it, it just caught on because it just made people smile. And it's like that's my thing from now on. So
there you go.
Living the dream. So how was your week been? How was the weekend? You went on a little trip, a little vacation?
Yeah, it was awesome. Being out in the woods it's like soul renewing for me. You know, you get a little bit away from all of the hustle and bustle and technology, and you have all the sounds and smells and all the things that are out there. And it just reminds you that, you know, we might be top of the food chain only in that nothing competes with us on the planet, but not in terms of resilience and everything else, because you just look in the little nooks and crannies of the trees and things just work, and the animals just work, and they just have their little balance, and they just, you know, they don't care about COVID, and they don't care about all of that, you know, like it just and it's not that the ecosystems of the world don't have the things that happen to them just like humans, but it's just different, and there's a certain amount of peace that things will go on that you can leave there with. And I think that kind of renews my hope, and it actually then, so it makes you slow down, it renews your hope, but then it gets, as you know, creative juices going, and then you're like, so now that I know that the world is going to be okay, now what?
Right,
you know,
right.
And then I get
how do I do this thing? Yeah. No, I love it. I love
so
that
that
analogy and all of it.
That sums up the week, and then did a little kind of reconnecting with other parts of life, and then a lot of catch up. So then I got really quiet again. So people probably thought I went like back in the woods like a little hermit person, but it was really more like in my little woods here of now I got a lot of shit to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Anytime you take a vacation, you got to get caught up when you come back, right?
Yep. And I thought I was fairly prepped when I left, but then you realize, you know, man, I wish I would have been that much more ahead before I left. But
yeah. I can't remember the last time I went on a vacation. The last vacation I went had to be, at least 5-6 years ago, not longer than that. It's I think the last one I went on when I got back, I had so much to do. I was like, why did I even go on a vacation? I'm so stressed out now. You know what I mean? Like, good Lord. Like, right. So it's like, I just haven't found that team that allows me to take that vacation. So that way, when I come back, the things are still done. So definitely looking to work to build that team in 2021. That will allow me to step away and be able to, you know, take a break if I need one. That makes sense.
That's definitely what I would like to talk about today, if you don't mind. Is just like that was a lot of what my processing in the woods was like. In February I will have Lioness creative for a year.
Nice. Congratulations.
So that's not very far away, you know. Hold that congratulations till I hit that year, but still, you know, it's but I'm looking ahead to that. What does that next year look like? And, you know, yes, I want more and I want to build better and all of those things, but I also want to do it really smart and strategic. And then I want to really make positive impact. Like, I don't want to just survive. I want to really thrive. And that's what a lot of our conversations are about. So that's really what I was brewing on there. It sounds like you were brewing on the same thing, but you're always doing that anyway. Like, we should talk about that, because if we can spur people in this next month and a half to think about what does 2021 look like in a really positive, deliberate way, that could be a powerful convo. So
honestly, I love that. I think that people have done so much complaining about 2020. You know what I mean? Like I'm to the point now where it's like, are you really complaining about 2020, or are you complaining about something else? Right? Yeah. Because honestly, I think 2020 made a lot of people have to look at themselves, look at their lives. You know what I'm saying? Look at everything around them. Yep. And to a lot of people, they're like, whoa, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Right? I don't like this. And so just all this, 2020 has been so horrible, miserable. I hate to tell you that the year was the year, but your life is your life. You have control. You have control over your life, right? And so, I'm ready for 2021 in the sense that I'm ready for people to stop complaining about 2020. But I also want to ask people, what is your plan for 2021? Yes. How do you plan on changing? How do you plan on making a difference? How do you plan on, if 2021 still has a virus, how does your life become better?
Right.
Right? How do you become happy without having all the things you think you need? Right?
Yep.
So let's have this conversation. I'm definitely up for it.
Yeah.
So,
I'm with
I
you.
mean,
I'm so with you that I feel like people are whining about 2020 and almost taking it to the victim mentality. And
hold on. Wait. That's a tough word for me. Dang it. Why'd you use that word? That is such a tough word for me. And so when people use that word victim, if you're not using it in a sense of where it has to truly do with the situation of someone being a true victim of something, meaning they cannot control it, it hurts them. It bothers me because that word means something to a true victim, right?
True. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
To a person who could not that. So let's pick a different word from victim.
Yeah, I bring that up only because I think that there's a camp of people that are taking it that far, almost like that all of the world is so out of control that they're at the mercy of all these circumstances, and we're always at the mercy. Yeah, we're always at the mercy of external forces, but we also play a role in those external forces too. So you're spot on, correct. I totally agree with you, and I think there are better words to use, but it seems like there's those extremes.
I like the at mercy part. I like the at people are feeling like they're at the mercy of COVID right now, right?
Yeah.
When truly they're just at the mercy of their own lives.
Yeah.
It's understanding that you can't go to the bar, but you still could hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
I mean, you still could mingle with your family.
Yep.
I mean, there's other things you could do.
Yes.
And if taking that bar scene away from you affected you that bad, you might want to look at the fact that if you need these things so much and they go away, how do you feel? Right. And if it makes you feel a certain way, do you truly need those things?
Right.
You know what I mean, personally myself, I didn't need any of those things when COVID hit. It was like, COVID hit. Let's try not to get sick. Let's try not to get sick, baby. I kept building my year. I kept moving forward. I kept doing my things. I kept looking forward towards the future. I didn't let this little thing consume me, right? So I've never said on any of my social posts, any of my friends, God, I hate 2020. It's been the worst year ever.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been the worst year. I've had worse years. You know what I mean?
I make jokes about it though, because I do make jokes about it only because it seems like when I turn on the news, I'm watching some weird sci-fi thing that somebody made up, like in all of it, like how many more things can we pile on in 1 year of big issue, complicated things? So like I saw this meme out there of what is Time's person of the year for 2020, and it was the mayhem guy, and like that made me laugh. I'm like, that's pretty accurate. And I recently saw another one, like Elf on the Shelf just came in the mail, and somebody was opening up a box and it was the Chucky doll. Like 2020's Elf on a Shelf is Chucky. Pretty accurate, because it just seems like things are just not real. So I make more jokes at it simply because let's just get through it, because you should be looking forward anyway. So then we can stop using 2020 as an example of what happens to us, and instead let's just get done, and now we're moving forward. So.
Yeah, I mean, COVID is just the beginning.
COVID, economics, election, like there's just so many layers of like weirdness, but
but it's always been that way. I mean, when Obama was voted in, there was a bunch of weird election stuff going around.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of other issues going on in the world. There's always something going on, right? It's the way we consume the information, one, right? And then how we process that information, right? And then how we react to that information.
Yes.
If we can figure out how to do all those things, I mean, this, like, again, 2020 does not seem that bad. Right. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have had, some pretty bad years in their life. I mean, especially if you're homeless, go talk to a homeless person, talk about, right? 2020 ain't nothing to him.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? So there's bigger things going on in the world. I think that people are using 2020 as a crutch, as a, like you said, they feel like they're at the mercy. And actually they're only at the mercy of their own minds, their own mindsets. Right?
I definitely can look back to other years in my life that were far worse.
Right.
So, but I do find the humor in that 2020. I mean, what a perfect, like, since we're both kind of in the marketing creative world, the fact that it's 2020 and vision and like zeroing in all these positive things that we could have done with 2020. you know,
Yep.
and then we get this as our
Yep.
external factors. Like, that's funny. I mean, you gotta laugh too, you know, of all
Right.
things, the perfect vision being this is
Right.
hilarious.
Honestly, I couldn't have predicted the virus coming, but I did predict the fact that the world was going to be moving online. Like it was the
Oh, for
future,
sure.
right? You know,
Absolutely.
and so having it happen right now,
Yep.
this is so this has sped up a lot of things. I mean, technology is moving a lot faster now because of this whole
Mhm.
COVID thing.
Yep.
You know, the autonomous car is going to come out sooner than we probably thought it was going to come out. You know
Yep.
what I mean? I mean, all these things are going to come out that we thought were 20 years down the road, but
Right.
because of this, everything's been sped up. So I'm kind of excited about it. You know what I mean?
I
I'm
am
kind of
too.
excited about it. I'm looking forward. I've enjoyed 2020, but I'm looking forward to 2021.
Yeah.
You
What are
know,
the things that you're looking forward to, or just kind of big picture direction things that you want to share anyway?
you know, I've learned a lot in 2020. I've spent a lot of my time trying to connect with as many community organizations as I could within the time that I had, as far as like different businesses and just trying to create this partnership
Mhm.
of just different businesses. And it seems like it may be on me to go out there and just do it on my own at this point.
Mhm.
And so while I would love to work with anybody, I'm thinking that to get my stones moving faster and to kind of create the impact that I want to create, I'm just going to start knocking on doors myself,
Mhm.
right? I consider myself to be, and I'm going to say this online so people know this, right? Because I'm going to toot my own horn. I consider myself to be one of the most innovative marketing people in this town, right? With the things that I'm capable of doing with the technology that I've either built or people that I've partnered with that have that technology, I think that I can offer businesses a lot more than a lot of other organizations are offering those businesses. And I want to be able to do that. I want to be the one to create that connection, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, I
Mhm.
want to be the one to create those partnerships, to connect businesses with consumers or to connect consumers with other consumers and so on and so forth. I want to be the one that connects our community together, but
Mhm.
not just our community. I want to be the one that connects other communities together.
Mhm.
So in 2021, my goal is to go out there and do as much as I can to create as much connectivity as I can from a marketing standpoint. Throughout as many communities as possible. I know that seems like I know that seems like probably a huge thing, right? But that's my goal. 2020 didn't slow me down. It didn't make me afraid. It made me even more hungry.
Mhm.
And so now I'm really hungry. So and I'm saying 2021, but I mean I've already started the process. But in 2021 is a year where it says, okay, January 1st, let's just go hard. Let's put as much time as I can into building out what I want to build out, and that's smarter, more connected communities. So
So
that's my 2021 goal.
So as I listen to you, you know, how my mind works is I always think in pictures. So I listen to somebody and then pictures pop into my head. So to give
Yep.
people an understanding what is happening there, as you're saying that, and then you say that sounds like it's so big and it sounds like it's so much, I picture, no, it's not, because if you were a sketching person and you draw a concept map, you start with something and you wheel that out and it gets onto something and then it leads to something else, but those
Yep.
lines don't go away. So you can keep adding on, and pretty soon you have a network of things that are connected. And to me,
Yep.
that's exactly what I was hearing, is that 2021, you're going to solidly root that first bubble as yours,
Yep.
period, yours. And then you're adding that on and it just goes, versus waiting for somebody to make a bubble and then you connect to it and
Yep.
then a bubble, and you're just going to make the damn bubbles and the connection, you know?
I'm about to make the damn bubble, Amy.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna,
That's how I picture
I'm
it.
gonna
So
make the damn bubble. Yeah.
that being said, it's not overwhelming. It's not too much. It's actually, I applaud you, because I think that fits you well to just
Thank
build
you.
it and do it and run with it,
Yeah.
you know?
Thank you. I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
tell me, 2021, what does it look like for you?
Similar. The word that I would use is fabric, like weaving together how things work a little bit better so it has strength as a whole. So
Yep.
for me, a lot of 2020 was figuring out what are my own processes, how do I want to work with somebody, and I really spent a lot of time just being super agile in 2020. Like,
Okay.
so I'll work with one person here or a small company here, and I might move super fast in this one and a little slower in the other to fit them, always to fit them. And I'm not giving up on that, but I'm going to take where, you know, we have to have a standard pace. The gears have to turn at a standard pace. You can slow that down a little or we can speed that up, but we're going to have a time period where we're brainstorming, and then it has to produce something.
Yep.
And then you're going to decide if you're going to move on or not.
Yep.
And then we're going to do a plan with deliverables and break it down and really, really project manage this well. And we're going to stay to that scope, because I've had a couple people where they've had scope creep, where it grows and then it doesn't really follow through because they're in dream mode. And to rein that in, I've either struggled with it, or I've also pushed too hard with a few people too. So I had to figure out, so I'm going to be the engine that, so much like you're driving the train, you're going to do that. I'm going to be now the machine that is going to set the pace, and you're going to decide how to speed that up, slow it down. But we are going to take time to do this and have output, time to do this, time to do this. And we're going to figure that out so that nothing ever gets off track.
I love it.
Yeah. So that, that might sound confusing and messy, but actually it'll tidy up the chaos a little bit more. And I think it will fit people better.
So what I heard was you're going to take control. If you're going to take control, you're going to lead, you're going to set the pace. Right. And this is the pace we're following. We're going to do these things. As long as we're doing these things, we're moving forward. That's what I heard. So
yeah, just much more. Yeah. Like
you're very detailed on it.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's like a guided walking tour. We're going to walk together, but yet I'm going to take just a hair of a step ahead of you to keep pushing a little. So I'm going to set the walking pace.
I love it. So, I love it.
And you can challenge me and you can run ahead of me. That's cool. I will run too. I'm a runner. So, I'm good with that. But we're not gonna stop and pause and there's always gonna be motion. So
no, I love it. I love it.
I'm excited about that.
I like the fact that you're looking forward, right? I think a lot more people should be looking forward. Right? What am I going to do in my life? What changes am I going to make? How am I going to make my life better? Right? I think we all start thinking like that and looking forward towards the future. If this ever happens again, we won't have all the woe is me, right? We won't have all the whining because people will have adapted their lives to be able to deal with situations like this. And that's how you move forward. One, as a species, is being able to adapt. And so I'm hoping that if you're watching this, I'm literally hoping that you're listening and you're understanding it's time for you to start making the decision of how your life is going to be great. It's not up to anyone else. It's not up to the outside world. It's up to you to figure out that. And once you figure out that, that's only you're ever going to find true happiness, right? So I hope a lot of people, like I said, looking forward for 2021 and trying to figure out how they're going to make their lives better. So
as usual, both of us touched on too, like where we're at now, what we evaluated, it has worked for us, or what we want to change going forward. So we're both very good self-evaluators, and I would challenge people to also do that. Like where do you own your fit in where you're at now and where you're going? Because both of us talked about scale too. We both have in our head how we want to scale that and pace and things like that and growth. Behind that, you mentioned team. I want to grow my team to be more than just the collaborators I have, but actually have a little bit more solid team. So we're both on that very forward spreading out path. And I think that challenging people to self-evaluate and do that. So it's not just dreamy, like it's real.
What I know is that you have a dream, and then you put a plan and process in place, you can make that dream come true.
Absolutely.
It's simple as that. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yep.
As usual, Amy, this has been awesome. I love this creative conversation we had this morning.
Yes, me too.
It's got my juices flowing, and I am now going to head into my 10 o'clock meeting, and I'm super jacked and wired to keep promoting the fact that start thinking forward, start thinking about how you are going to make a better life for you. So I'm probably going to be preaching that all day long. So
me too. Me too.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. You have a very powerful day, and
as always, you have a very powerful week.
Awesome. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Have a good one.